Good morning. These words of remembrance have been prepared by myself, Michel, my dad, Denis, my brother, Louis, and my sisters, Nicole, Giselle, Suzanne, and Lisette. On behalf of my family, I want to thank you all for being here to pray for Lucille, ma petite Lucille, Lulu, Belle, Lulu Belle, Mama, Mom, Mama Lulu, Auntie Lulu, Mémère, Mémère Lulu, Madame Robert. However you knew my mom, you knew one thing for sure. She loved you, and she was always happy to see you or to speak with you. She was the heart of our family. Mom was born in Winnipeg, lived in Saint-Agathe, Saint-Boniface, and Lorette. She was a proud Franco-Manitobaine, living in Francophone communities, active in her French parishes, and supporting the local French schools. Mom attended Marian School and l'Académie Saint-Joseph, and she was an A student. As a child, she loved to eat her grandmother Charrier's homemade bread with fresh butter. She lived above her grandparents' house, which had separate entrances that were side by side. Her grandpa cut a hole in the wall so sa petite Lucille could come down and visit any time, especially when she smelled fresh bread baking. One of her mottos in life was, "Everything is better with butter." Mom was really close to her mother, and they both valued cooking and cleaning. They would help each other out and do work bees to wash windows and do spring cleaning. Every Valentine's Day, Mémère Bourrier would give her Belle a heart box of chocolates to show how much she loved her. Mom lost her father, Joseph Dorge, when she was a baby, and when her mom remarried, she was adopted by Frank Bourrier. He loved Lucille and raised her as his own. Mom was a great big sister to her brother and two sisters. Her brother Dennis remembers that she loved to watch the program Great Movies that aired on Saturday nights. She would sit 5 feet away from the TV with a big bowl of popcorn made in her mom's big aluminum pot with a small Pepsi. To the very end, Mom loved her popcorn. Diane, her sister, remembers Mom's generosity, and Lulu took her family out for a fancy dinner when she got her first paycheck. This was a big deal for a family that rarely ate out. Diane shared a bed with Lulu until she left home. This made Diane feel safe. When Mémère Bourrier was dying, Lulu came back from Texas, and Diane felt a sense of security. The matriarch was back, and they would often defer to Lulu. Mom was 15 when her sister Evelyn was born, and she was like a second mother, getting up in the night to care for her little sister. Their bond was special right from the beginning, and Mom was Evelyn's godmother. One Christmas, Lulu bought Evelyn a talking doll named Nancy. It came with fancy pajamas, a bed, and a dresser. It was expensive, and Lulu had to make payments on it. Mom met Pa when she was 18, and by age 20 they were married. She loved her date nights with Pa, where they'd go dancing, eating out, doing car club activities, police meets, drive-in movies, going to socials, the policemen's balls, and many banquets. She would make Pa's lunch every day and kiss him at the door before he left for work. She would wait for Pa to come home from his late shift. She'd make him toast and cocoa, and they'd talk about the day. She treasured these moments. She trusted Denis to care for her, to provide all that she would need, and she was very happy to start her family and dedicate herself to raising her children. She was a natural nurturer, and she loved having babies and children around her. She was warmly welcomed into the Robert family. Her in-laws, Joe and Irma, often babysat for Mom, and we'd come over to help when she needed it. She was close with Pa's brother Emile and his sister Jeanne. She enjoyed visiting them in Beauséjour and British Columbia, respectively. When Emile moved to Ontario, she made sure to stay in touch. Throughout the years, there were many laughs and special moments shared together with Les Robert. Mom had a special bond with Louis, her only son. She always wanted another son, and she tried many more times to have a brother for Louis. She supported him throughout his life, especially through all his health issues. She never hesitated to offer Louis anything he needed, be it cooking his meals, doing his laundry, or ensuring he was taking his medication. We'd often hear, "Louis, did you take your insulin?" One time, after shopping with Mom while driving home, Louis's blood sugar became low, so he pulled over into a gas station to get a chocolate bar. He came back to the truck with a Mr. Big, and Mom told Louis she had never tasted a Mr. Big in her life, and could she please have a piece. This was her motherly way of making sure Louis didn't have too much sugar. So they shared a chocolate bar. Mom was close to her 5 girls, and we were each her favorite daughter. She was such a loving mother. She tried to discipline us, but whenever she pulled out the wooden spoon, she had to chase us and we'd be laughing, including Mom. Mom would constantly warn us about what not to do, and we usually did that very thing anyway. For example, one time, Nicole covered herself with cankerworms, knowing my mom had a phobia of worms. As a teen, Giselle was told to stop swearing, and when she didn't, Mom washed her mouth out with soap. Suzanne and Lisette were often told not to play in the ditch, and sure enough, they came back 5 minutes later with a booter. She told me not to marry the first guy I met, and I married the first guy I met. Mom and us girls would have an annual girls' night where we'd go to the hotel, eat out, go shopping, sit in the hot tub, drink, laugh, cry, and enjoy being together. Spending a week at the condo with Mom was also a special time for all of us, especially with the grandchildren. Some of her preferred condo getaways were in Las Vegas and Hawaii, but her most common stays were in Elkhorn and Detroit Lakes. Anywhere we went, she'd pack all the food and ensure she had all the meals planned. She would put out a spread, and this would include all her favorite cheeses. Then we could relax, laugh, play games, eat, and drink. One advantage of having 5 girls is that Mom gained sons-in-law to love. She welcomed them into the family with open arms. She made them feel right at home by cooking and baking their favorite foods and desserts. If Mark was coming over, pork burgers were on the menu. For Russ, she was sure to make Chinese coleslaw with steak and mushrooms. One time, she asked my brother-in-law, Bill, to choose his favorite dessert for his birthday. Graciously, Bill said anything she made would be great. Mom insisted he name his favorite. When Bill finally named a dessert, Mom quickly answered, "Well, no, not that one." I was thinking more like a cheesecake. Either way, she enjoyed feeding these men, and I think Gilles' weight gain over the years can definitely be attributed to Mom's cooking. We girls all use Mom's recipes, and when Nicole is trying to choose a recipe for dinner, Chris sees the look on Nicole's face and says, "Better call Mom." Mémé Lulu was blessed with 9 beautiful grandchildren: Miguel, Josué, Ryan, Jordan, Brendan, David, Catalina, Felix, and Maya. She was attentive and loving to all of them. When her grandchildren would see Mom, they'd light up and cry, "Mémé," as they ran to her for their hug. She loved spending time with them and would let them eat what they liked. She knew their favorite foods and treats and would have it ready for them. She'd learn about their interests, listening attentively to what they liked, and then she would buy Star Wars, Spider-Man, Nintendo, Schleich horses, Paw Patrol, and so much more. Mom was dedicated to family and friends. She cherished her time with Pa, Louis, and us girls, and with all of you. Her home was always open, and she embraced our friends and whoever came through the door, making them feel welcome and special. There was always enough room for everyone, and she would say, "What's one more?" Some special friends became extended members of our family, and these include Leo and Patricia. She had a special place in her heart for her brothers and sisters-in-law, her nieces and nephews, including her godson Travis. In these last few years, she looked forward to visits from great nieces and nephews like Brianna's kids, and just 3 days before her passing, Mom proudly held Kaylee's baby boy, only 5 days old. All her meals were homemade. She loved cooking, baking, and canning. She took pride in her meals and ensured everything tasted just right. She kept a bottomless pitcher of iced tea in the fridge. Her kitchen was her domain. If you were in her kitchen, you'd be directed on how to clean, cut, chop, and prepare food. She would eyeball what you were doing and let you know when it wasn't right. Even at the end, when we were cooking for her, she watched from her chair in the dining room and asked questions like, "Why are you using that pan? Did you cut it small enough? Why don't you add more salt? Here, let me see it." Her stove could never get dirty, and if you dropped something on the floor, you had to clean it with no streaks. Mom loved entertaining. She hosted birthdays, holidays, parties, and every occasion you can imagine. And as you know, after this ceremony, there is a luncheon, and we invite all of you to that luncheon. My mom would really appreciate you attending. Christmas Eve was her special time to offer us her best cooking, complete with hors d'oeuvres. Turkey, ham, meatballs, meat pie, many side dishes, as well as her famous dainties. We started eating in the afternoon and kept going all evening. Mom also loved hosting bonko parties on New Year's Eve. Many of you have attended and played bonko with us and have memories of "Where's the bottle?" and "Ring that bell" being yelled across the room. Mom loved playing cards and would often meet with couples to play canasta. She enjoyed playing games like Yahtzee, Romoli, cribbage, and many, many more. One of Mom's love languages was gift giving. She remembered everyone's preferences and knew exactly the right gift to offer for every occasion. She loved shopping and choosing that special something. Christmas was especially important as she prepared stockings for her 6 children, taking the time to pick just the right items for each of us. Pa, knowing Mom loved gifts, would usually surprise her with a gift hidden in the tree, and she would cry with joy at his thoughtfulness. This last Christmas was no exception, when Pa surprised Mom with Nicole coming home for Christmas. Mom cried and said, "He did that for me? Your dad can still surprise me." Mom was surrounded by her family for her last Christmas, and this was her greatest joy. Mom had a beautiful smile and infectious laughter. She also had beautiful, petite, and dainty hands, and once she turned 16, she started doing her own nails every Friday night. People were amazed that she had long nails that were always manicured, even when she was cooking, cleaning, and raising 6 kids. Her hair was very important, and it was always done. When she was newly married and had had her hair done, she'd wrap it up in toilet paper before bed so it'd stay in place. Poor Pa, he could never touch her hair. She didn't want anyone seeing her with flat hair, and if it was raining out, we would hear, "Oh no, my hair!" Mom knew how to dress. She coordinated her colors by matching her shoes, purses, and jewelry. People would notice her accessories and comment on how well they matched her clothes. And in honor of Mom, the 5 girls are wearing a bracelet of Mom's. One thing Mom wasn't good at was telephone etiquette. We'd pick up the phone, say hello, then she'd say something like, "Got a stick of butter?" Or, "Is your milk expired?" We'd answer, and she'd say, "Okay, thanks, bye," and hang up. We weren't always sure why she wanted to know. Of course, if she was on the phone with her friends like Lorraine or Adele, then she'd talk for a while. During her life, she worked as a legal secretary a homemaker, a home daycare provider, Susan's bookkeeper, and a teacher's aide at l'École Légimetière. Her co-workers and students all connected with Mom because she cared about them and was genuinely interested in their lives. She was active in her parish, her community, and various groups. She made many friends along the way, and once my mom befriended you, you were her friend for life. Some of the activities she was involved in included 10-pin bowling, line dancing, darts, singing, walking with her neighbors, doing aerobics in the living room, card club outings, which included car breakdowns along the road. Raymond and Claudette would tell us first they would laugh and then they would pray, because my dad was never quite prepared. But their guardian angels always came through. She enjoyed hosting house parties for Tupperware, Party Light, Pampered Chef, and many others. She was an avid reader, and La Liberté featured her in an article about reading. She also loved going to tea houses with Julie, Lorraine, and Mimi, and I know many of you would also go with her to enjoy tea and crumpets. Mom always had a fine appreciation for art. She marveled at beautiful things people could create. In her 6 years working for Susan, she was in seventh heaven, smelling and seeing all the gorgeous floral arrangements. She also became an avid collector of angels, Royal Albert china, Swarovski and pinwheel crystal, community silverware, Royal Dalton, Yadro, Dresden figurines, miniature shoes, and, well, many other collectibles. Collecting was fairly simple and cost-effective for Lulu. She'd start a collection of something, and then she'd wait for her birthday and Christmas for others to complete it. Her favorite piece was a locally handcrafted alabaster pieta, which had been a Christmas gift from Pa, and which she always had in a prominent place on the buffet. Her place at the dining room table was where she could look directly at her pieta. I've talked about the good things in Mom's life. Now I want to say a few words about the deep challenges she had to face. Mom was most faithful when it came to vows and promises. Her vow of for better or for worse until death was not just a saying. She meant it, and soon into marriage she had to exercise it. When Pa became ill with stomach ulcers, and later with repeated back problems, and Louis with diabetes, she became the quintessential nurse. She learned everything she could about traditional and natural medicine. At age 36, she acquired a kidney nephritis, the treatment of which would put an end to her childbearing. Then she became an expert on schizophrenia, osteoarthritis, and finally pulmonary fibrosis. But she firmly believed that if the Lord will take you to it, He'll take you through it. And she was right. She overcame so many challenges as she needed various treatments, surgeries, hospital stays, physiotherapy, and rehab. She exuded joy despite all the challenges she faced in life. For Mom, God came first, and she had a great devotion to the Blessed Mother Mary. She was always loving and forgiving. I would ask her how she could be so calm after someone had offended her, and she would say, "That's not important. They are good people and they mean well." She read her gospel and prayed her rosary daily. Although Mom suffered for over 40 years of her life, her outlook remained positive, and she offered her suffering to God for her soul and for others. In 2012, when she was diagnosed with her lung disease, she was told most people succumb to this condition within 5 years. We almost lost her in 2017 when she had a cardiac arrest. God granted her a miracle, and she had 4 more years with her family and friends. She continued to bless us with her presence, and she fervently prayed for all of us. Throughout her many illnesses, her family and friends would care for her. Many of you here today supported Lulu when she was sick or in hospital, bringing her food and comfort, praying for her, and spending time with her. When she could no longer leave the house, many of you continued to offer your support, like dropping off meals, and your services, like haircuts and massage therapy, at her home. She really appreciated all of you. In the end, she was surrounded by her community who supported her decision to die at home. Although Mom didn't like giving up her independence or being needy, because she didn't want to be a bother to anyone, it was our honor to be able to help and support our Lucille, Lulu, Mom, Mehmed, sister, auntie, and friend. Mom, you will be missed. We love you. Je t'aime.